Chapter 1, verse 5.
It is you we worship, and you we ask for help.
A person's life is subject to three states: past, present and future. The second and third verses of chapter 1 Al-Fatihah reminds people that in respect to their past and present they owe everything to Allah, the Exalted, alone. He created them from nothing and blessed them with countless blessings both in the past and in the present. In addition, He is the only one who can forgive their past sins and guide them in the present time. Chapter 1 Al-Fatihah, verses 2 to 3.
All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
The fourth verse of chapter 1 Fatihah indicates that one's future state is also completely dependent on Allah, the Exalted, as no one can help them except Allah, the Exalted. Chapter 1 Al-Fatihah, verse 4.
Sovereign of the Day of Recompense.
These verses have made it clear that people are completely and solely dependent on Allah, the Exalted, in all their affairs and states. Therefore, the present verse concludes this understanding by declaring that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah, the Exalted, and He alone can help one in every aspect of their life. So if Muslims desire to obtain blessings in all their affairs and states, then they must sincerely obey and worship Allah, the Exalted, by fulfilling His commands, refraining from His prohibitions, and by facing destiny with patience according to the traditions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. In addition, the order of this verse also reminds Muslims that the purpose of their creation is to sincerely obey Allah, the Exalted. Gaining support to overcome the difficulties of life is only a consequence of obeying Him. The Holy Quran clearly declared the purpose of mankind in chapter 51 Ad-Dariyat, verse 56.
And I did not create the jinn and mankind except to worship me.
Before one can worship Allah, the Exalted, they must first recognize Him, as it is not possible to obey someone without knowledge. In addition, people must first learn how to worship Allah, the Exalted, before they can fulfill this task. Therefore, worship is followed by knowledge. This is why in a narration found in Sunan ibn Majah, number 224, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, declared seeking useful knowledge a duty on all Muslims. Without knowledge one will never be able to worship Allah, the Exalted, correctly. Few good deeds performed with knowledge are far superior to many good deeds performed incorrectly because of ignorance. As Allah, the Exalted, is the one who created mankind, no one has the right to be served and worshipped except Him. If an employer easily dismisses their employee for abandoning the duty they have been hired for, how can it be correct to abandon serving and worshipping Allah, the Exalted, when He alone created and sustains the creation? All of mankind have been granted free will and the ability to obey and worship Allah, the Exalted. So each person must decide whether they desire to fulfill their purpose of creation, thereby receiving eternal reward, or reject it and face punishment in both worlds. The same way a device, such as a mobile phone, which does not fulfill its primary purpose is discarded, people may well be discarded on the Day of Judgment into hell for failing to fulfill their primary purpose of existence. It is important to note that worship refers to the obedience of Allah, the Exalted. This involves fulfilling His commands, refraining from His prohibitions, and facing destiny with patience according to the traditions of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. This obedience must encompass every part of one's life and body, such as their tongue. It includes a person's duty towards Allah, the Exalted, such as offering the prayer and treating the creation with kindness. Those who obey Allah, the Exalted, will be given the best rewards, while those who disobey Him will receive the worst punishment in this world and the next. In a divine narration found in Jami' at-Tirmidhi, number 2466, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, narrates from Allah, the Exalted, who declares that if one busies themselves in worshipping Him, through sincere obedience, He will fill their heart with richness and remove their poverty. But if they turn away from His worship and obedience, Allah, the Exalted, will fill their life with problems and not remove their poverty. It is important to note that Allah, the Exalted, does not need the creation in any way whatsoever, as clearly mentioned in a narration found in Sahih Muslim, number 6572. People only benefit themselves with their good deeds as it raises their ranks, and they only harm themselves with their sins as they will be held accountable for them. The infinite status of Allah, the Exalted, does not change at all irrespective of if the entire creation worshipped Him or not. Allah, the Exalted, is the sole creator and sole provider. It is people who are completely and utterly in need of Him. Whoever understands this and sincerely obeys Allah, the Exalted, will fulfill the purpose of their creation and will therefore be given an eternal reward.